What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Anthony Joshua. Get this. Anthony Joshua sends a message to Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder following the Alexander Usyk defeat. Anthony Joshua still hopes to fight Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder at some point in his career, and even if the world titles are not on the line. The Briton lost his IBF, WBO, and WBA heavyweight titles after a sobering defeat to Alexander Usyk at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Saturday. Joshua fell to the second defeat of his career against the Ukrainian, and while a rematch clause he intends to activate will offer him the opportunity to reclaim his belts, it scuppers any immediate plans for a unification bout with the WBC king, Tyson Fury. Talks for the two Britons to meet for all major belts collapsed in the summer, but defeat to Usyk ends hopes of the contest happening anytime soon. While his immediate focus is on Usyk rematch, Joshua is still eager to take on Fury and Wilder, even if there's no titles on the line. He said, "The road to undisputed, it's good," Joshua said in his post-fight press conference. He said, "But I'll fight Tyson Fury, Wilder, and whatnot without the belts. The belts are fun. It's great. It's legacy. But with or without the belts, I'll fight whoever." He said the road to undisputed is a nice title to have and a nice title to chase, but would you still want to watch it without the belts? That's the main thing. You've got two competitive fighters in the ring from the UK, from UK soil, that just want to go toe-to-toe. Hearn suggested that the rematch could take place in February and March, with Usyk eager for it to take place in Kiev, although the matchroom chief suggested such a plan would be unlikely. Let me stop right there. For him to say, hey, I can fight, or I would fight whoever, Wilder, Fury, without the belts, certain things come to mind, right? One is that I don't think it's a good thing to say, to let people know that, hey, he doesn't intend to retire. He's, you know what I mean? Or he is not scorned by the defeat, okay? He still has them on the brain, okay? But let's talk about the brain for a minute. I feel that his immediate go-to is, hey, I'll still fight Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder without the belts. It sounds good, but if you think more into it, it's like, well, you would fight them without the belts. What are you insinuating? See, you could say, you could be looking into it like, well, what do you mean? How about let me get my titles back, and then we'll come see them with undisputed. But then he put undisputed in the back seat. If you can realize what he said, well, the undisputed is fun, but I would still fight them, or I would still want them in the ring without the belts to go toe-to-toe. You know, so it's almost like you put undisputed in the back seat just in order to get them in the ring without the belts, meaning you may face a reality without the belts, or you don't plan on fighting the Ukrainian, the newly crowned Ukrainian champion, Alexander Usyk, next, right? And maybe he may call out the loser of Wilder Fury. I'm sorry, Fury Wilder 3, right? Because whoever, let's say it's Tyson Fury. Well, would Tyson Fury want to fight Anthony Joshua without the belts? What type of money would that generate? You know, you got two guys that's fallen, one with one draw, one loss, the other one with two losses, right? So they have blemishes on their record without any belts. Deontay Wilder has the WBC that he's got back from fighting in court from arbitration, and he pulls off a win. Okay, well, that leaves Tyson Fury with his first loss. Then we all get to experience the blowback from that. But who really would want, what type of fight would that create? you know, financial wise, because that's the whole thing about Joshua. He's the golden goose. He's the most marketable guy, or was, right? But he is very, very high on the totem pole, you know, if not the highest, definitely the highest in the heavyweight division, you know, unless Tyson Fury pulls off another beating to Wilder, then it may be debatable and you could say this or you could say that. But him saying, well, I'll fight him without the belts, but he's supposed to have a rematch clause, it makes me think, well, maybe you're considering the reality or the near future without the belts. You know what I mean? Like, well, hey, what if I do lose to Usyk? Well, hey, I'll still fight those guys. Fair enough. You know, but then it's almost like, hey, you admitted like the better man won, and you don't want to fight for undisputed. It's nice, it's fun, it's tough, it's good, but that but is the problem. Okay, so him saying he'll take on these two guys, it's good because it tells you that he doesn't plan on retiring like most rich people could do. He could just walk away from boxing, but he doesn't plan on doing that, you know, and going toe to toe with whoever. But I think if he plans on rematching Usyk, any name other than Usyk should not be coming out of Anthony Joshua's mouth. What we saw last night, you know, no excuses. Usyk was the better man, but I think Usyk was more focused on Joshua than Joshua Usyk. The game plan was wrong. I think he ran out of gas, but, you know, I thought he was going to do that anyway. I called it. So you can't say, oh, you're making excuses. No, I called that. I say, well, man, what if this guy does what he does with everybody else? You know, he plays them like a high intense chess match until they break down mentally. Then he got him. And that's exactly what happened last night. Okay. But I mean, for the most part, it sounds good that he still wants to compete. That's great. You know, but Wilder and Fury, they have their date October 9th. So we will see how that develops. You guys tell me what you think about Anthony Joshua calling out Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury with or without the belts. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.